Thank you. Thank you so much, and welcome to the Seventh Heaven Podcast. I'm your host, Evan Myers. You can follow me on Twitter at Seventh Heaven. You can follow the show on Instagram at Seventh Heaven Pod. You can listen on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play, and now YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. Thank you and welcome to the show. Give a hand for our studio audience. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for showing up to my home in the middle of the night to show me the support that I could not do without. I do it for the fans, people. I do it for you. Selflessly, I might add. It is good to be here. I meant to do an episode earlier in the week, except I have been suffering, if I may be so honest with my listeners. I have been suffering, and it has gotten in the way of my productivity. And you may say, Evan, what is this suffering you've gone through? And I go, part of it, here's the thing. If you open yourself up online, people will tear you apart. So I just don't want to go there because it makes me so vulnerable. And the haters, man, the internet is filled with the haters. They would just eat me alive. All right, I'll tell you. I threw out my back. And, here's the thing. It sucks. It sucks. And people often talk about things like they're the worst. Like climate change is the worst. Racism is the worst. I think you could say back pain is the worst and be close. You could be close because that back pain knows it is not biased. It is not prejudiced. Back pain can spike anyone with a spine. Anyone with a disc can go through this. So the pain is universal. Okay, so you sit there. Climate change, what's the worst thing that's going to happen with climate change? We lose half of Florida. A lot of people think that would be good for the country. I don't. I'm pro Florida. But, there's an argument to be made that we could move the coastline in a bit. And it's not, if you live near the water, you're going to drown. But if you live a little bit inland, you get ocean view. So that's debatable. Racism's bad, but not for the person that's just racist, right? I mean, unless they get canceled. But if they're racist, then, it doesn't hurt them. They're just racist. And, you could be committing genocide even. And if you're the genocide committer, it doesn't affect you. Maybe you lose your soul and you can never sleep again and you constantly have to worry about some form of judgment being issued out to you. But if you, outside of that, there's no physical pain. And back pain, what I'm trying to say is that back pain is worse than genocide or racism or anything else really. So here's the thing. Again, I don't want to mope here because I'm a guy who likes to be uplifting, I want to tell you the truth, but I want to tell it in a way that makes me feel better about myself. So everybody out there hung up on life, just remember, I'm going through something worse than you because my back hurts. Okay? So you can take all your little problems, all your little, oh, I have a big hospital bill due. Unless it's for back pain, I don't care. I don't care. We have a great show planned for you guys today. I've been doing a lot of research, looking through the news topics that are bound to interest me. Let's start across the globe because we cover foreign news on the Seventh Heaven podcast. We cover news all across the globe. And this one comes out of New Zealand. And people who don't know, New Zealand is a place where they filmed The Lord of the Rings. And I think it's a country. They claim it. I don't think they have a standing military. So I feel like we could conquer them. I feel like most people could conquer New Zealand. Like if they really put their mind to it, I feel like you could take New Zealand pretty easily. It's just a small island off the coast of another island. And quite frankly, you know, what are they going to do about it? You know, what are you going to do in New Zealand? What are you going to do? Anywho, down under, New Zealand bans smoking. This comes to us from Fox News, the most trusted of the, those people. New Zealand bans smoking. The unique phasing out plan raises the age to buy cigarettes every year. New Zealand's government believes it has come up with a unique plan to end tobacco smoking, a lifetime ban for those aged 14 or younger. Under a new law, the government announced Thursday and plans to pass next year, the minimum age to buy cigarettes would keep rising year after year. That means, in theory, at least 65 years after the law takes effect, shoppers could still buy cigarettes, but only if they could prove they're at least 80 years old. You mean to tell me that when I'm 79, you be 79 years old, in 65 years, if you're 79, and you go to get yourself a pack of cigarettes, they're going to card you? You're really going to be out here carding 79-year-old men just trying to get a smoke? My God. In practice, officials hope smoking will fade away decades before then. Indeed, the plan sets a goal of having fewer than 5% of New Zealanders smoking by 2025. Other parts of the plan include only allowing the sale of tobacco products with very low nicotine levels and slashing the number of stores that can sell them. The changes will be brought in over time to help retailers adjust. Oh, nice of them. Because the current minimum age to buy cigarettes in New Zealand is 18, the lifetime smoking ban for youth wouldn't have an impact for a few years. In an interview with the Associated Press, New Zealand's Associate Health Minister, Dr. Aisha Viral, who is spearheading the plan, said her work at a public hospital in Wellington involved telling several smokers they had developed cancer. Quote, "You meet every day someone facing the misery caused by tobacco," Viral said. "The most horrible ways people die, being short of breath, caused by tobacco." Again, I don't know if I could die of back pain, that might be worse. I don't think that, yes, cancer's bad, but think of my pain. Think of my pain, New Zealand. Here's the thing. I don't know why the government feels like they have to go after smokers. They just want to get rid of the entire industry altogether. Great. Fine. What other industries should we get rid of? What other industries? Should we go after the media? Sorry, you're 14. You cannot watch Fox News. Maybe there's a benefit to that. Maybe there's a benefit if we ban cable news from people under the age of 14 and we just keep raising the age. And then by the time they're 65, they won't be able to watch, their Pfizer commercials. It's these people, they think that this is the thing. You think you're doing something good by limiting people from doing things that they want. But instead, you are telling them, we do not trust you to do the right thing, so we shall impose this. We shall social engineer it upon you. I don't understand the problem with smoking. I understand the health problem with smoking. I don't understand the moral problem with smoking. There is lots and lots of fast food in our country. You can smoke marijuana in much of our country. I assume New Zealand is one of those countries that you can smoke marijuana. These are the questions that we have to ask ourselves, fellas and ladies. Ladies are welcome to ask the question, but fellas mostly. There is a point we have to ask ourselves, how far do we want this government thing involved in our lives? I say that I don't want the government involved in my life at all. On the government side, they say, we want to be involved in all of your life. And I'm like, I don't want you in any of my life. And they're like, we want you in all of your life. I'm like, get out of my life. Go on, get. But they don't. They don't go on and get. They stay. And they leave nothing unturned. People will impulsively support this because they hate smokers. They won't support it because it's the right thing to do. They will support it because they want to punish smokers. They don't like smokers because they litter. They don't like smokers because they smell bad. They don't like the smell of cigarettes wafting through the parking lot. They master the fake cough. But this is the problem. You can do this about any behavior that annoys you. We live in a world where we shame people for being fit. If an actor posts photos of themselves saying, hey, I've been working out, they're like, you're fat shaming. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Hey, you can't work out anymore because that is an attack on my feelings. You are assaulting my feelings as a fat person. And that is violence. So we're going to limit the amount of times you can go to the gym in a month. Evan, that's crazy. When has the government ever prevented people from going to the gym? I know, you're right. Not once in my lifetime has the government ever prevented anyone from going to the gym. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't understand why people think the government is good or that it's capable of both good and evil. It's not that there can't be gray areas, but I think people put too much gray when there are clear lines and boundaries. The government will invade countries, spy on its own citizens, commit human rights violations. They will do all of these things. And it's not to say they can't do good or some good, but I do know that people or things, entities that are capable of very evil things tend to do more evil than not. It's not like if you have a church And in your church, you have a youth pastor, and that youth pastor is, he's violating children. I know this is a far-fetched example, so just wrap your mind around the I know it seems impossible, but imagine, if you will, just imagine a situation where at a church, somebody's not being good with children. For the sake of this, just go and reach for it. I understand that a church can do a lot of good things. Oh, they feed the homeless. Okay, sure. Oh, they do missionary work. Sure. Oh, they got a AA thing going on. Sure. And maybe once in a while a creep slips in. Okay, sure. But if the creep slips in and they go, well, the creep is the pastor's son, so we're just going to slap on the wrist and, hopefully that family leaves. And we're going to tell them never to do again. And then, next thing you know, you guys are up on the mountains doing a Bible study and he's got his dick out. Again, I know this is not a possibility, but imagine if that is your church where on the one hand, you have the problem and they kind of nip it in the bud, and then you have the problem and you keep having the same problem with the same person, then you can say the evil outweighs the good. So when I look at, let's say American foreign policy, right? On the one hand, we do mercy ships. We have medical ships sail to impoverished parts of the world and provide medical treatment on behalf, and spent by the U.S. taxpayer. When countries get hit by earthquakes or hurricanes, America is often the largest donor to the rescue efforts and to the rebuilding efforts. America is often at the front line of that, and it often falls on America's shoulders to take care of the world. On the other hand, we will drone children. So it's all right, well, every now and then I can understand if you drone children, right? Accidents happen. If you have a drone, surely an accident is bound to happen. But let's say you have, 5 drone strikes a week and 2 of them hit kids. You go, okay, now I'm starting to question the drone strike method and maybe the drone operator, if you will. So every government, it's this weird, and progressives have this thing where they see it where they go, especially in the U.S., the government is so morally broken and bankrupt and just corrupt. And yet we also see it as the great golden God in the sky that will bestow us with all of our gifts. All of our wounds will be healed by the sweet, sweet Lord above, called the federal government. So while they can simultaneously argue that it is white supremacist, racist, sexist, patriarchal, murderous regime, you can also say, well, I think we need to have more welfare, and we need to have more social programs. We need more infrastructure. We need more. So they always want more of it. Oh, we need a vaccine mandate. Okay, we need more of it. But if you need, if it is a broken white supremacist, patriarchal, corrupt oligarchy, then you should argue for less. So with New Zealand, who has gone extreme in their lockdowns, yeah, we can get rid of the smoke. Smoking's bad for you guys. It's unhealthy. It's bad for other people. being fit and flaunting it is fat shaming. Your shame is literal violence. We're just going to have to shut down the gyms for a little bit here so we can equalize things. We need to have fitness equalization. You may say I'm crazy for thinking that. I might even agree with you, but I don't know why it is that we want more. I want less. And people, it's almost like, I don't know, maybe it's just like the thought of just, I want to have the safety, the security blanket, you know? I just want to have the feeling that it's there. But what does it do for us, really? I don't know how much it does. It seems like it does more bad than good. So I don't know why we can't live in a world where we just let people do whatever they want, so long as they're not hurting other people. Well, smoking is secondhand smoke. Nope, no, that's bullshit. Secondhand smoke is a fictional invention by the same people who pass these kinds of laws, so that they could thus make it's like you're unvaxxed, you're going to give me COVID. Well, the people who are vaxxed are giving people COVID. Well, that's kind of my point. I don't know why we invite it more into our lives. And it's weird how comfortable people are. And it's not, left-wingers do it. The right does it as well in its own ways. So that's where a lot of you see a lot of guys on the right kind of pushing for, there's this weird new push for traditionalism. There's a lot of there's the nationalist crowd, and then there's these. A lot of them are Catholic, I've noticed, and it's I think they see their opportunity, so they're kind of jumped on with the nationalists. And I'm just like, do you think that they're not gonna fuck up your shit too? Do you think the government is not going to, they already are. They already are. That's the thing. If they spied on Donald Trump, what do you think they're going to do to you? So I don't know. I don't know why people want more. I think the argument seems to be towards less. According to Outkick, the coverage, major airline CEOs call out nonsense behind mandatory mask wearing. During a Senate committee hearing on Wednesday, Senator Roger Wicker, Republican Mississippi, inquired with various airline CEOs regarding the masking policies ailing several of their companies. Two of the CEOs were honest about the lack of data behind mask mandates. Quote, I think the case is very strong that masks don't add much, if anything, in the air cabin environment. It is very safe and very high quality compared to any other indoor setting, answered Southwest Airlines CEO Gary Kelly. Quote, I concur, added American Airlines CEO Doug Parker. An aircraft is the safest place you can be. It's true of all our aircraft. They all have the same HEPA filters and airflow. I think this is part of the disconnect between people who want to continue the lockdown and the rest of us. Because if you've gone flying, and Adam Carolla has detailed this, but if you've gone flying in the past year and a half, you sat on a plane wedged with lots and lots of people. There was a little while where they spaced out. They had one seat, 2.5 fucking foot wide seat between you. Oh, 6 feet. Just social distancing. They had, if you flew, you had maybe a seat between you and someone else. Or like the last time I flew, there was no room between us. And you had your mask on, and you sat on the plane, and they came around and gave you a soda and some peanuts, or I should say pretzels, and you take your mask off and you drink your soda and you eat your pretzels, and then when you're done, you put your mask back on. Or let's say you go to a restaurant. You go to a restaurant, you walk through the restaurant, you have your mask on, you sit down at a table, you take your mask off, you sit there for an hour, hour and a half, you eat, you drink, you laugh, you get in an argument, you're screaming, all that shit. And then when it's time to go to the bathroom or it's time to leave, you put the mask on, you get up and you walk through, and then you walk outside. This is the COVID theater. Nothing exemplifies that more than sitting on an airplane, eating food and drinking, and then putting the mask back on. Nothing exemplifies that more. So we went along with it. And it is now gotten to the point of obviousness that even though they're trying to drag this on, even the CEOs of these two major airlines are going, yeah, we're probably good on that. There was a story that came out later in the week after this was published saying, I guess one of these guys got COVID. Okay. There's never going to be a follow-up, by the way. There's no follow-up of these guys dying of COVID, right? There's no follow-up with these guys getting hospitalized. It's just, he tested positive for COVID. Okay. How is he doing? Is he fine? Because he's probably fine. Again, this is the problem I have. The thing that has always, gotten in my craw, if you will, is when things don't make sense. When that's sort of, there's the nuances of life where it's like, why do we do this? It's just kind of like, well, that's just the way we do it. There's probably a reason. The reason won't satisfy you, so thus we just do it. Why do we lie to our children about Santa Claus? Collectively, why? I don't know. Tradition. There's some vague tradition in there that I'm not entirely sure what it is. But we all do it, pretty much. And if you don't do it, you're kind of an asshole. So if you think about it, you go, well, this doesn't make sense. There are things in this COVID that have not made sense. Why is it that parents could not have their kids in school? Made no sense. Why did Andrew Cuomo send old people with COVID into nursing homes? Doesn't make sense. Why can I get into an airplane, and wear a mask until I want to have a sip of water or a drink of my Coke or eat my pretzels, and then put the mask back on? Doesn't make sense. Why, when I go to a restaurant, I went to a restaurant the other day. This was a Mexican restaurant. It's a chain. And I went to this restaurant, and they had, you must enter with a mask on there. They had this is how you walk in. This is how you exit. What are we doing? You're still doing this? The exit, none of this ever worked. Walking on the dotted line, walking with the arrows at the grocery store, that never worked. It never worked. But here we are still doing it. Why? Is it because then you could tell people that you're better than us? You just went, it's like it's like the guy who gets, they bleach their hair in middle school and it looks like piss. It looks like someone pissed on their head. And then it's like junior year and they still have this piss hair because they made that one decision in 7th grade and they're just going to ride it out until the end. And we're like, come on, dude. Just stop. But he says, no, I will double down. I will triple down. It's disgusting. Hopefully the next time I fly, I won't have to wear a mask. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. There's no reason to require people to wear a mask. If you are performing open heart surgery, then yes, please wear a mask. If you're a dentist, sure, wear a mask. But do not come at me with this bullshit where a 5-year-old could figure out that this is stupid, that this is really stupid. I'm glad that the barrier is breaking. This is a song I'd like to play for you guys. This is a song, and it comes to us from the director of the NIH. Now, for those of you who do not know, the NIH is the National Institute of Health. It's an agency of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. And this is the director. This is the director of the NIH. And in this video, he has a guitar. He has a guitar and someone who's doing sign language. So there you go.
Somewhere past the pandemic, when we're free, there's a life I remember full of activity.
Let me be clear. I have had a lot of activities despite the pandemic, so I don't know who these people are that are waiting to live. So he's one of them, or at least he's singing for them.
We're past the pandemic, masks will come off.
I have not. The only time I wore a mask, I have not legitimately worn masks since March. And outside of flying, I have not worn masks since March.
No more need for a nose swab every time we cough.
I actually have not been tested for COVID once in all of this.
As we are gathered here today, COVID's toll has hit and sent us reeling.
That's some leadership. Yeah, this disease that hit us has sent us reeling. This is... Could you imagine if your football coach was like, yeah, we're reeling right now. We've lost 2 in a row. We're reeling. That guy would be out. That guy would not make it to Monday.
But partners like the ones right here will help to make the pathway clear to find a true healing. Somewhere past the pandemic, life will resume.
Again, my life has not stopped resuming.
We'll all complain about the traffic, forgetting how we hated Zoom. Somewhere past the pandemic, we'll hug our friends.
I have not stopped hugging people.
And thank the people in science that brought the pandemic's end.
How about the people who made it in a fucking lab? Do we thank them?
My dozen years are almost through, but it's been great to work with you. Let's end COVID now. Thank you, HHS.
Produced by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
They produced it. Oh God. This is what this guy's been working on for the past 2 years. He's like, somewhere past the pandemic, way up high. No, that's not it. What should I go with? What are they doing? Listen, he's not bad. I'll say this. He's not bad. So I'll give him that. But it is a little weird. I think it's a little weird. This guy's out here pretending to be James Taylor. I don't know. It seems like this is always the thing that got me when people would complain about Trump, because they would always complain about how things looked. That was always like, how does the world look at us? How does the Chinese look at us? How does Putin look at us? It's such an embarrassment. Okay, sure. This is so embarrassing. This guy, this is a lifelong bureaucrat, presumably. He has decided to sing about the complete and utter failure of the government. Here's the thing. Either you can be on kind of my side, which is let's go fucking Florida style. I'm done with it. Let's move on. You can go that route. Or you can be all Corona bro, locked down and never want to leave your house. And if you're one of those, then you can only look at the government's response as a complete and objective failure. This should be something that makes you think that we have no control over anything. Instead, Mr. Francis Collins, the director of the NIH, wrote a song. He's written a song. It's not an original, mind you. He's just going to switch out the lyrics to an old fan favorite. Now, mind you, that song was probably written before anyone alive today was born. This is what these guys are doing. This is what your taxpayer money they produce this. They produce this. Your money, your tax money paid for this. Because this guy, he cannot help you, but he can sing you a song that when we're past the pandemic, without any masks, we're going to get there. We'll thank our scientists for leading us out. Have they? Who stepped up? Was it the nurses, the TikTok nurses out there doing the fucking Macarena? Were they good? I don't know. Did the president, we've had 2 presidents. Did they step up? This should be, again, why do you want more of this? Why do people want more of this? Listen, it's a great song. It seems like it's outside of his purview. It feels like something he should have put on his Instagram page. Now, mind you, he looks like he's 400 years old. So I don't think he has an Instagram. He just has the Department of Health and Human Services. It's insane. Am I crazy? I must be crazy. Anywho, one more video for you guys. This is from our friends at Libs of Tik Tok. And I'll describe the video to you. It is a very overweight, grizzled, with a gray beard, a gray chin beard, lady. Now, I would not know that this was a woman until she told me. At first sight, I would say this is a man. But this is a woman.
Trans women are women. Trans men are men. Science is real and Black Lives Matter. Love is love. No human is illegal. Women's rights are human rights, and women owe no one their femininity. Biological sex and gender identity are two completely different things. Who I am, my womanhood, everything in between, is not up for debate. I am agnostic, so that means I don't know what I believe in. I definitely am not religious. Trans women are women. Trans men are men.
Let's dissect this. Let's break this down here.
Trans women are women. Trans men are men.
But they're a little different, right? Like, we can say they're different. We don't have to say they're the same. We can still say they're different. I would think.
Science is real and
Science is real is one of my favorite slogans you hear now. By the way, this lady, this gal, this broad is just like reading out bumper stickers right now. Like, these are just bumper stickers that you see on a Prius. The only thing missing is coexist. That's it.
Science is real and Black.
Science is real is a funny concept to me because I don't know anybody who, like, when they go, oh, they're science deniers. What they mean is not like, they're not talking about like nuclear power. They're not talking about biological sex, as we can see. They're talking about basically global warming. And their version of science is real is like the day after tomorrow. That's what they think global warming is. So, I mean, yes, I guess you can say that you think science is real, but you're telling me you're a lady and you think that the whole earth is going to get, flooded like Noah's Ark again. That kind of, I don't know. It doesn't seem super pro-science to me.
Science is real and Black Lives Matter.
Again, bumper stickers. These are bumper stickers.
Love is love. No human is illegal.
No human is illegal. It's all the biggest complaint. That's the only reason they say that is, well, they say it as a broad stroke to cover for immigration, but the criticism is of the term illegal immigrant. That's the problem. It's a illegal immigrant. And I don't know why that triggers people so much because it's like, oh, well, you can't be illegal. It's like, well, that's if you are occupying my living room and I did not invite you in, you are illegally, breaking and entering or whatever. It is an illegal act for you to do that. If I wake up and you're standing over my bed, it is illegal what you are doing. Assuming I did not invite you in and pay you to do it. Assuming. So why is it that somebody coming into the country breaking the law. Regardless what you think about it, it is the law. You can say it's a bad law. You could say that we should have looser immigration, whatever. You could say whatever. But it is a law. So if they're breaking that said law, and you kind of go, okay, well, there's immigration. We got to distinguish between legal immigration and illegal immigration. Well, okay, we'll call them illegal immigrants. Whoa. Well, that's too far. I mean, is it? Why is that term so triggering? It's just, again, this is about the language control. It has nothing, they don't care. This person doesn't care about illegal immigrants. They don't care. But it is about controlling speech. And you do that by changing language, by coming up with your own lingo, by coming up with your own terms, and then foisting them onto everybody. So they're trying to take away illegal immigrant. Why? Well, because it's an effective term.
Women's rights are human rights.
I don't know anybody that would argue that. So good for you with your bumper sticker.
And women owe no one their femininity.
I don't know what that means. Women don't owe no one their femininity. I don't know what that means. I don't understand what that means.
Biological sex and gender identity are two completely different things.
They're not completely different. This again, if you're right, you don't have to lie. You don't have to lie. Girls are different than boys. Boys are different than girls. You can, again, this is why I have a problem with, this is my problem with the pro-vaccine, not even vaccine, the pro-lockdown types, all that. It's or Black Lives Matter. It's just like, you have to accept everything I'm saying, and that's that. It's like, if you go into my, if we reopen schools, there's going to be millions dead. And I go, well, there certainly could be a risk, but not this. And they're like, whoa, no, what are you, an anti-vaxxer? What do you, hate science? I'm like, hey, there's a little nuance here, bitch. Nothing is wrong with nuance. So what is the deal? I say, what is the deal?
Who I am, my womanhood, everything in between, is not up for debate. I am agnostic, so that means I don't know what I believe.
Hold on, let's go back there.
I am agnostic, so that means...
Sorry, I've got to go back a little bit further. A little further here.
Who I am, my womanhood, everything in between, is not up for debate.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You can call yourself whatever you want, lady. You can paint your nails. You can spike your hair. You can wear a muumuu. You can do whatever you want. With your gray beard, you are certainly up for debate. As a lady, your ladiness is up for debate. In fact, I would debate that. Until you I was going to say something, but that's not going to be good. Let me rephrase this. I am just saying, lady, you have a penis. Or at one time, you had a penis. I think you still have a penis. You have a gray beard. You have a gray beard. Your beard is gray. These are all factors that argue against you being a woman. Do you not have a mirror? Do you not have a mirror? I don't understand why we have to pretend. This is the problem. I'm not going to pretend in your little fantasy world. This is you. Good. This is you. Fine. I don't have to associate with you. And you certainly don't have a right to shit in the ladies' bathroom. Oh, they're not harming anybody. I don't know that. This lady might be, dangerous. I would not, if we were using my example earlier, if I woke up in the middle of the night and this lady was standing over me, no good.
I am agnostic, so that means I don't know what I believe in. I definitely am not religious. Trans women are...
I'm agnostic, so I don't know what I believe in, but I'm definitely not religious. Great. You're such a hero. You're bringing shame to agnostics everywhere, lady. You should be ashamed of yourself and ashamed of your gender. You're making women look bad everywhere. God, sorry, my back still hurts. And I know I whined about it. I know you all tuned out. You said, Evan, we don't care about your pain. And you're probably right not to, but I will say this. The worst part about being in pain when you're a single guy is that you don't have someone to take care of you. All this week I wanted was for someone to bring in some saltines, some ginger ale, and to rub my tummy. That's it. That's all I wanted. But when I asked my roommate, he said no. The guy said no. And I don't live in the same state as my mom. So there goes that. And Kamala Harris shut down Backpage. So I'm not hiring someone to do it. This is the problem, guys. This is the problem. It's not even the physical pain. It's the psychological need to be cared for that has been driving me crazy. It has been driving me crazy. I'm glad you joined us today, this evening, this afternoon, this morning, whenever and wherever you're listening. This is the 7th Evan podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at 7th Evan. Follow the show on Instagram at 7th Evan Pod. Share with a friend. Listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, Rumble, and Odyssey. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys are the best. We'll be back. We'll be back after Christmas. That's when we're going to be back. So you guys can just wait. Just shut up and wait. Why are you so impatient? Why do you need everything now? Huh? Why can't you just be grateful?